Yo guys, what's going on? Acez here today with another video. In today's video, we are going to be talking about, once again, how insurance works, but there's going to be some new stuff to talk about. This is almost like an updated video to the previous one that I talked about right when PvE first came out. Do me a favor, make sure you're dropping a like on this one here today, and of course, make sure you're subscribed to the channel for more PvE content. We have a few super thanks shoutouts we have to get to. It's been a crazy 3 days, and these guys have been waiting for their shoutouts, and I have not got to them, mainly because the new patch being implemented, there's been so many issues with it. First one is going to be from Pi. He actually dropped back-to-back super chats. I got his other one, but this was his next one. He said, playing Tetris is my favorite part of this game. Honestly, speaking of playing Tetris, I have an hour-long part 1 of me cleaning up the entire stash, and it's still a little dirty, but I do have a lot of room now. So it was an hour long to make this much progress, and all of the cases are still an absolute mess. If that's something you're interested in, make sure you subscribe, and we will have an hour-long part 1 of a stash cleanup. And yeah, playing Tetris, it's fun, but it's definitely time-consuming if you got too many blocks. But nonetheless, I appreciate your support, Pi, with the 5. Moving on, we got David M89 with the 10 bomb. One of the very, very few podcasts I tune into. Keep up the good work and happy 4th of July. Thank you so much, David. I'm trying my best with the PvE podcast. I'm not sure the exact direction we want to take it, how long we're going to continue to make them. I like the super long one we did, and I like the short one we did. So, you know, all your guys' support and feedback on what I could do better with that is definitely greatly appreciated. And, you know, I appreciate you so much, David, for showing that extra level of support and let me know that the podcast is worth your time. So thank you so much. Then the final one here today is from GVS, showing some more love with the 5. He says, spawned in 2 PMCs around the corner like 100 feet away. Killed him. Saw no more on my run to medical. Did not consume the card, and FPS is back to 120. Love to hear it on the FPS. As for not consuming the card, that is still not fixed. A lot of stuff is still not fixed, and I hope it is addressed here very, very soon. And hopefully, on the bare minimum, a lot of these issues are fixed by Monday. Whether that's just turning local raids off to give them time to fix some of these things, I hope they are fixed. So, fairly long intro. I know I cut some of it out, but on my side of things, it was looking like a 3-minute intro. God, I hope it's not that long. Let's talk about insurance here today, my friends. So we have a few things that we need to talk about. So as for insurance working as normal, there's nothing new to report with the physical insurance system itself. So if you go to insure something, you will get it back as long as you're not dying on labs and as long as you are actually claiming it in your insurance screen. I don't know what of this is insurance and what is for a task. I think this alpha rig, for example, is going to be from insurance. But in my very first insurance video, I talked about how the insurance time to claim is like 15 days. That seems like it's actually not true. It seems like most insurance actually expires after about 7 days still. You know, definitely not 15, but it just doesn't seem to be fully working properly with the amount of time that is allotted to actually claim that gear. And then another thing, as you guys know, your insurance stash is giant. What you see here is not even close to the amount of space you will get from storing things in your insurance stash. However, there is a limit, and when you start to get messages from Proper saying, hey, I couldn't hold your gear any longer, I sold it, that is when you have to clear out some of that stash, and you always want to start from the bottom and work your way up because the gear that is at the bottom is the oldest stuff for your insurance. Now, some of those one-slot items might sneak their way towards the middle or the top. If you really want to be 100% thorough about it, go into your messages from Proper, scroll up, and find the oldest insurance on the timer. So, as for all that stuff, it's pretty much as per usual, as per norm. But there are some new mechanics now with PMCs that you have to be aware of, and you're not going to 100% get insurance back guaranteed anymore. And if you didn't know, if you're playing with buddies, if you're playing with friends, scavs can loot your gear, and now PMCs can loot your gear. So if you're not playing solo, your gear will always be at risk. It always has been here in PvE. But now as a solo player, when you die, the raid does end instantly. It will still work that way. So the moment you die, everything on your PMC is safe. It is 100% safe. But If you are dropping your gear to insurance fraud it, like if you're swapping out your armors or you're swapping out maybe condors or your helmet, or maybe even if PMC has a nice set of Contact 4s, you're going to go ahead and pick those up and swap gears out. Now, those PMCs should be able to pick up the gear off the ground if they want. Now, I don't know all of the values, if they base it on like the tier level of the gear, the value level of the gear. I don't know that information. You know, this is a very brand new patch, but the PMCs do loot now. And the biggest part of this is the PMCs extract. They extract from the map, meaning a PMC could hypothetically pick up a solo player's insurance frauded helmet or headphones and extract before they die or they leave the raid, meaning you will not get that gear back. So it is not a 100% guarantee anymore. If you've killed PMCs and looted their backpacks since the new patch, those backpacks sometimes a little further into the raid, they are absolutely loaded. Like those PMCs are looting. So it's very possible for you to lose your gear. Another thing that I'm not 100% on is MIAs. I believe if you go MIA with all of your gear still on, you technically didn't die in that raid. So you will not get that insurance back. So if you are watching your raid timers and you're about to get an MIA, make sure you are dropping everything on your PMC on the ground. So you're ensuring that you will get that stuff back. If it's insured and not on labs and you're about to go MIA, drop everything so you do get it back, because I believe if you're still wearing anything insured, it will not come back to you in insurance on an MIA because you did not die in that raid. Now, just one other thing before we wrap up the video here today, and I have not tested this, and maybe we test it, maybe we make a dedicated video for it, but I'm going to let you know right now that I've been thinking about doing it, and if any of you guys want to test it out or you have experience with this, you can drop it down in the comments. But we all know that the main person for insurance is proper. But there are some other options, one being therapist. So if we go to the insure screen here, you can see we can insure our gear with therapist. Hypothetically speaking, since it's a different trader, you should have a different stash for collecting the gear. So when you receive all from a trader, they have their own menus with all of that gear in there. Hypothetically, this is Proper's insurance stash. There should be one for therapists. So if you are starting to get somewhat full on your Proper insurance, could you start to insure your gear with therapists, which does take a little longer to receive, and I believe therapist does hold it a little longer as well. Would you hypothetically have a second stash worth of insured gear to collect from therapist? I don't know that. If you guys know, let me know in the comments. Maybe we'll make a follow-up video talking about that, but I've definitely been thinking about that and definitely want to test it out for you guys. But that is pretty much all the updated stuff you need to know about insurance right now. It's not 100% anymore, but, you know, I had a lot of people in the past tell me, like, it was never 100%. I have always 100% of the time gotten my gear back from insurance. I never had a raid where I never got back insured gear that I died with or I insurance frauded. Every single time I've gotten it. Now, like I've stated in this video, it's not 100%, but it's still damn near 100% for all solo players with all that gear you are dying with. So if you die in a solo local raid, you're going to be okay. And still on Streets of Tarkov that's not local, you still will have that raid end immediately the moment you die, and you'll get all that gear back. So do me a favor, make sure you're dropping a like on this one here today, and of course, make sure you're subscribed to the channel for more PvE content. If you have any video suggestions, you can drop them in the comments, or you can join the Discord and check out the Tarkov video ideas tab, and you can drop them in there, and maybe I'll consider your request for an upcoming video. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm out.